the word as if it had multiple syllables while aiming a chilled look at Tara's skater skirt, loose blouse, and bolero jacket. Is Hepburn elegance splashed with Hepburn chic. Perfect, Tara exclaimed, ignoring the condescending once-over because she thought this outfit was super cute. Take that, Bridezilla. I love both Hepburns, too. Tara's quick take on the bride's riddled request lightened Aislin's expression, a definite plus. Catherine's humor made her movies some of my all-time faves, Tara continued, and Audrey's fragility, she sighed, breathtaking. So why don't we start with Donna Donna's vintage line? You have the vintage gowns in? Aislinn appeared impressed, and Tara was willing to bet that not much impressed Aislinn. I thought only select stores were allowed to carry that collection. Stores in classic, vintage, and/or historic locations got the nod for the vintage line because the backdrop complements the gown. You won't find these in malls because Donna Donna decided a classic gown needed a similar setting, and Elena's is the only shop in the greater Philadelphia area allowed to carry them. Aislinn, aren't you glad I made the appointment here instead of at the mall? This is perfect. Aislinn's mother preened from the side. New York has plenty of shops, Mother, well-staffed with amazing designer connections. Aislinn trained an impatient look on her mother. But I wanted you happy, so I'm spending my last free Saturday for the next month here at, she pursed her lips, as if saying the words proved distasteful, Elena's place. Maisie almost growled. She didn't, but Tara recognized the temptation because she felt the same way. She thrust 2 gowns at Maisie, excused herself, and went to the front desk to grab a new wedding folder from Greg. He angled his eyes toward the grumpy bride, then dropped his gaze to hers. Those eyes, the kind a girl could get lost in. Lashes that should be considered wasted on a guy, but on him, not wasted at all. Strong facial planes, a hint of dark stubble already dusking his chin, and the cleft in that chin, it matched the little wrinkle in his forehead, and they were both to die for. What's up with her attitude? His question brought her straight back to the task of the day, winning a job in this bridal shop. She scrunched her brow. Classic, it's all about me type. Every bridal operation gets a few, and we treat them like we do any very special customer. She drew a bright pink heart on the outside of the folder and tapped it lightly, with lots of tender, loving care. Greg noted the pink heart and grinned. Great idea. Thank you. She took the folder back to the sales floor while Maisie pulled a few more dresses. By the time the late afternoon appointments arrived, Tara had pulled over 60 dresses, which meant she'd rehung almost as many. Greg did the paperwork for the sales, relieving her of that task. Maisie showed her how to get accurate measurements to assess the best possible size to order, and by the time the last young woman left the shop at 5:05, she'd booked 3 bridesmaid parties totaling 16 people. On top of that, she'd sold 3 stunning wedding gowns, had info on the other 3, and met Greg's grin of approval with a matching smile. I'm amazed, he confessed as he turned the key in the lock. I thought we were doomed. Well, it wouldn't have gone so smoothly without Maisie. Tara turned and gave the older woman a spontaneous hug. That meant everything, having you here to help get the girls dressed while I was jumping from room to room with the bridesmaids. Not our normal method of operation, Greg admitted. Mom always liked each bride to feel like they had her undivided attention from start to finish. That was her hallmark, and she made it work. Which is fine when there's enough help on hand, Maisie reminded him, and the strength of Maisie's tone suggested she liked to speak her mind. But we've had times in the store where folks drop in without an appointment, and your mother knew to spread herself thin as needed. Sales are the bottom line, and she would have been proud of how well Tara did today. How long have you been here, dearie? 1 day. Maisie pretended to clean out her ears. You don't mean that, surely. I've been off for a few weeks because December is slow. You started today? On a bit of a challenge, yes. She turned back toward Greg. So what's the verdict, boss? Did I meet the challenge? Do I have the job? You crushed it. He bumped knuckles with her and handed over an old-school application. Fill this out and we'll talk hours. Is your final semester class scheduled light, like it usually is for the third-year law student?